Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another Transmission Tuesday. If you're in the Indigo Instinct Healing Matrix, it's Tuesday, which means that it is time for another series of videos and tips and tricks that have to do with energy work, healing, and the ascension process. If you are not in the Indigo Instinct Healing Matrix, hop on in Facebook. These videos come out every Tuesday. Otherwise, they're released later on YouTube and very rarely on Instagram, but mostly on YouTube. So welcome. This week is a little bit more vulnerable for me, so I thank you in advance for your open hearts and your listening ears, because I have written a poem as well as done a transmission in light language that is meant to be communicated to all of you. And the first question that comes up is what is light language? And the interesting thing that's going to happen with this transmission is that there are going to be a few people that hear this and go, this is made up, or it sounds like I'm just trying to copy another language, which by all means, I know that the certain type of light language that comes out of me has some intonations with, or sort of vowel sounds with the Maori language, and that's because, I'll have to do a different video on that entirely, because when I was there, that totally felt like a deep spiritual home to me, on a galactic level, like yes, on an earthly level, but also on a galactic level and a spiritual level. So I by no means mean for this to be appropriation in any way, but the sounds are the sounds that feel most like home to me. So I just wanted to do a little aside on that, but there will be people who listen to this and say this sounds totally like gibberish and that it makes no sense. And there will be people who will kind of go, yeah, okay, that I kind of understand that, but it doesn't really resonate with me. And then there will be people who hear this and go, oh my gosh, I know exactly what you're saying, or my soul knows exactly what you're saying. And the reason for that is that light language is a way of communicating that is directly from soul to soul. A bit like light codes, which is information that comes from animals and plants and other people and experiences and visions and angels. And it's information that is downloaded into your blueprint and is made in a way that you can understand on a soul level. Light language is the communicative version of that. So there are some people who speak a certain light language that comes directly from their soul, and it sounds very distinct and it sounds very specific. And there are others who speak a light language and it changes and it varies. And it's mostly a sort of compelled feeling that when I'm channeling and when I am tuned in to my own guides or to guides of clients that I'm working with, I just feel this absolute compelling and this need to say these sounds and these vowels. And the first couple of times this happened with me, I felt really silly and I had no idea how it was going to be received, and I had no idea how I was going to communicate what I was trying to communicate. But as soon as you allow yourself to just speak the words, they just come out. And it's really interesting because the transmission that's in this poem in the middle is one of the only mantras in light language that I've ever received that has come back around. Many times when I speak light language with a client or in my own practice, in my own ceremony, there are fleeting messages that come through and they're really only meant to be heard once and then they go away. And this transmission that I've written is the only one I've ever actually written down. and has stayed in my memory enough so that I can put English letters to it and make the vowels out on paper and make it so that I can repeat it. So it is going to resonate differently with every person, but really this type of language and this type of communication, and very often it's done in song and in singing and in music, is literally just the soul speaking at its most open and raw level. And sometimes we don't have the words for that, and language fails us in a way. The same way that we can never put the raw power of a lightning storm into a description, or the feeling that we got when we dove deep into the ocean for the first time, or we felt, the blazing heat of another country, or a place under a sun that felt different for the first time. Those are words that fail us in these moments. So light language is a way for the soul and spirit to express what needs to be expressed, whether it's through message, encouragement, mantra, or lesson, in a way that the soul resolutely understands. And for those healers who work with clients and who work in light language a lot, occasionally their light language will change based on the client that they have, because you're not always going to attract the exact same line of client. And if you have a client who's not going to understand the channel of light language that you normally speak, the vowels and the sounds and the intonations that you make with your mouth and your voice are going to change so that they fit that person. So I have heard my language vary depending on whether I'm speaking to a client or whether I'm speaking with myself. But when I speak with myself, and I do this in my own ceremony and my own practice, these are the frequencies and the energies and the vowel sounds that come out for me. And I am looking forward to doing more of this in the future, and doing more transmissions in the future, and also doing them with music. I'll post a link to a really powerful light language healer, musical healer that I follow on YouTube underneath in the description box, if you want another example of light language. And she actually describes light language slightly differently than I do, but it's got the same energy underneath, and it's got the same intention underneath. So thank you in advance for listening. I am a little bit nervous about posting this, but I also believe that it is time, and I believe that this is a message that whoever is supposed to hear this is really meant to hear it, and will connect their earthly selves with their galactic lineage. So thanks all of you, especially those of you who are following me on YouTube or who are in the Indigo Instinct Healing Matrix. These are two beautiful families that I very, very much consider very lucky and to be my web of support in this earthly lifetime. So I really appreciate your presence, and I have much love for all of you. Blessings. There is a story inside me that wants to be written, to be delved into, burst open, and all but spun, ribboned. Like a spool of history and time interwoven, these memories inside me that all go unspoken. On the outside, I am recreating the narrative, chopping down beliefs I believed were inherent, and from the stumps spill a language I didn't know I could speak, a song of my people, a lesson to teach. Titara hawe, titara hua, titara otawe, titara hia. The words spill out of me, though I cannot translate. The message is a frequency I just demonstrate. A language of ancestors, a planet of others. I am here to connect the two, galactic and mother. Hikarakawe tia taia tarawe. Haraitana ka hawa chi. Fe naro tarawe hi nao. Cho tahi hatarawa. Ho china ke o kasarea. Kasarea. Kasarea.